welcome back to my channel. It is I, Thomas, back at it again with another video, and I'm super excited about today's video. It's something that's going to be changing on my channel. It's like kind of like a new series, something that I'm going to be implementing more and more on my channel, especially if you guys like it. So basically what I'm going to be doing every single week is I'm going to be deep diving on subjects that I'm very interested in. I know a lot of you guys would be interested in on learning and kind of understanding certain things. So for today's video, I wanted to take a deeper look at MAC Cosmetics and why I believe they are flopping and why I feel like they are on a fast track to bankruptcy or even turning into what Forever 21 has turned into, or even what American Apparel turned into. I did a lot of research for this video, and of course for all of these videos, I'm going to be doing my makeup while I talk about everything. But usually for a video like this where I'm talking about a specific brand, I want to use all of their products, but because MAC Cosmetics breaks me out so severely, I will not be able to do that. I do have a few MAC products, but for the most part, I'm just going to be using my own personal products that I really like. Real fast before we get into today's video, I wanted to mention that today's video is sponsored by VITERAMEN. If you guys do not know what VITERAMEN is, I've been talking about it on my Twitter. VITERAMEN is a ethically made, fully nutritional, full of bionutrients ramen that has so much more ramen in it for you. It's a full meal. They have amazing flavors, vegan miso, garlic pork, and then it's soy sauce chicken. Unfortunately, because of what's happening on in the world right now, they are pretty much pre-order, so please sign up to their newsletter. If you sign up with their newsletter using my link down below, you will get free offers from me, myself. You can get a free spoon and other free things, even exclusive discounts that are just for my followers and for you guys specifically. And they just came out with their new version of ramen. That means they enhanced their seasonings and stuff like that. They made it a little tastier than before. They just came out with version 1.2. Check out VITERAMEN, check out their newsletter. Please sign up for the newsletter. If you sign up for the newsletter, I'll be sending out pictures and emails and stuff like that to you guys, and sending you guys special offers with them. I love VITERAMEN. I love eating their ramen. I eat their ramen every single day. I love what they do for their employees. They pay all their employees livable wages. Even during the crisis that's going on in the United States right now, they're still paying all of their employees livable wages, which is absolutely admirable, especially since this is a smaller company. So if a smaller company can do it, you larger companies can do it too. So check out VITERAMEN, check out the links down below. So yeah, if you guys are really interested in why I think MAC Cosmetics flopped, if you're interested in hearing the facts and my opinions and all of that stuff, please subscribe. It'll really help me out a lot. I really want to revive this channel and make this channel a place that everyone kind of goes to once a week for really fun content. I promise you guys, I feel energized. I feel excited and inspired again. I know I've said that for the past like 2 months, but this time I actually mean it. So I know a lot of you guys know MAC Cosmetics. MAC Cosmetics is still kind of a household name. I feel like a lot of people, especially over the age of 20 years old, their first experience with makeup was MAC Cosmetics. Really my first ever experience. I mean, to be honest, the first ever product I ever bought was a Too Faced bronzer, but my first ever like experience with like foundations and stuff like that was definitely the MAC Studio Fix. I mean, I grew up with a MAC display in my Dillards. You know, like they had like those islands of like beauty brands. My mom would always stop by it. My friends that I would go to the mall with would always stop at the MAC counter, I guess is what it's called. And I feel like everyone had that experience with MAC. Like MAC was, for a lot of people, that first intro to beauty and makeup. Like we all had, for the most part, our first experience with makeup was MAC Cosmetics. Before I can even talk about MAC Cosmetics and why I believe they are flopping as a brand, I have to first tell you guys the history and the rise of MAC Cosmetics. So in 1984, MAC Cosmetics was founded by Frank Angelo and photographer Frank Toscan. Double Franks, love that for them. Frank, the photographer, he hated how makeup looked on camera. He thought it was very ugly and cakey, and he wanted to create his own brand that kind of counteracted those issues, those problems. But MAC Cosmetics didn't see much success until late in the 80s when Madonna wore their signature red lipstick, which I believe is Ruby Woo to this day. And Madonna wore that to a photo shoot, and at the time Madonna was like the icon. Like she was the Beyonce of her time, the Lady Gaga of her time. Like that's who Madonna was in the 80s. So everyone was like, what red lipstick is she wearing? What's going on? And that kind of really built up hype around the name of MAC. But MAC Cosmetics didn't see much commercial success until their first actual marketing campaign, which was with RuPaul.
My name is RuPaul, and I am the MAC girl. And everybody, of course, wants to know why. Why did you choose RuPaul as the MAC tell you why. Because MAC is for everybody.
RuPaul was their first ever campaign. That's kind of sickening. I don't know why I didn't know that. I feel like somewhere deep down in my mind, I had a obscure understanding that happened. After that campaign with RuPaul in the early 90s, they found an even bigger success. Like their sales boomed, everything about the company just like skyrocketed, which I honestly chuck up like MAC's success with how successful the photographer already was, because the photographer Frank, he already had connections inside the industry with makeup artists and stuff like that, and it really stays true to MAC Cosmetics even to this day, because MAC Cosmetics still is very much so like a makeup artist based brand. Honestly, MAC wouldn't have saw the success it has today if that photographer didn't have the connections that he had. So in my opinion, I feel like MAC Cosmetics had a huge impact on the beauty industry for about 26 years. I want to say a lot of that came to a halt at 2016. MAC Cosmetics was everywhere. Like MAC Cosmetics was the quintessential brand that everyone went to, the celebrities went to, everyone wore MAC Cosmetics. Somewhere MAC Cosmetics was always mentioned when it came to makeup. People would always bring it up like, oh, I want to get into makeup. Oh, you should try MAC. That's how much of an impact MAC had. But what happened? Now, I'm going to base influencers on generations. I feel like there's first gen, which is like the Michelle Phan, the Marlenas of Makeup Geek. We have, I forgot the other girls, but there's like MAC Forever something. Like those are like the first gens, the ones that really shaped the industry. They're the ones that kind of really shaped the industry for what it is today. I'm going to be mainly focusing on second gen, where they were the ones that really catapulted the beauty industry into what it is today. And the second gen girls is like Nikki Tutorials, Manny, Patrick, Jeffrey, Katie, we have ShanXO. Those would be more of like the second gens, and then third gens would be like James Charles, Nikita. I would consider myself third gen, but to be honest, I haven't had like a moment of popping off, so I'll save myself for fourth gen. It's fine. Those are the girls that had the impact. In 2014, we saw a huge rise in beauty influencers, but 2015 was going to be like the precursor of what was going to happen in 2016. 2015, we had the Becca Cosmetics and Jaclyn Hill collab. We had the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop collab. We had the rise of the influencer, the beauty influencer for that matter, really take shape at that time. Things started really popping off for the girls. People were making money. A lot of PR started happening. 2015 is actually when I started to get on a lot of PR lists. In 2015, the only brand that wasn't doing PR and actually working with these second gen influencers, the ones that were so impactful and influential at that time, and still are for the most parts of this time, girl, Jaclyn Hill could convince me to kill my mother, and I would actually kill my mother. I'm just kidding, Mom. But MAC Cosmetics was definitely missing in action when it came to taking advantage of early influencer marketing. Because of ColourPop's collab with Kathleen, they saw a huge spike in interest in the community. A lot of people were really interested in trying ColourPop products. We saw a huge spike in Anastasia Beverly Hills. We saw a spike in Too Faced. Like those are the brands that really took advantage of influencer marketing at the time. But MAC Cosmetics was missing, and MAC stayed missing upwards of 2 years or even 3 years until MAC Cosmetics finally started working with influencers. And at that point, it was kind of too late for MAC. In 2016, we saw a huge like change in YouTube and beauty influencers and how they convince people to buy certain products. If it was Jaclyn Hill approved, bitches were buying it. If it was Jeffree Star approved, bitches were buying it. If it was Manny approved, bitches was buying it. If it was Tati Westbrook approved, bitches were buying it. MAC Cosmetics did not take that in consideration until late 2016, when I was actually one of the first influencers to actually work with MAC as far as paid collaboration goes. And that didn't happen until December of 2016. Influencers tend to have this thing where they turn their back on brands that aren't really supporting them either. Listen, influencers work with brands that want to work with them. They're not going to bend over backwards for a brand. That's what I've noticed. And especially a lot of influencers, they're not going to work with you if you don't cough up the coin. And that's what MAC just would not do for a long time. And at that point, by late 2016, all these other brands had really took a hold of the market, of the consumer, like the beauty consumer market. I honestly feel like MAC turning away from influencers for so long and kind of sticking to the same mold. They waited too long to hop on the influencer train. And I know for some people that is an admirable thing, but for a business perspective, this is a very lucrative thing. By 2022, the influencer marketing industry is going to be worth $15 billion. And if that doesn't tell you alone how important and how lucrative the influencer marketing world is, I don't know what to tell you, because these brands, not just beauty brands, but they take influencers. Let me do my makeup. I'm really like on a tangent, girl. Let me get back to my makeup. If you're not taking advantage of influencer marketing, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Like advertising on TV and all that stuff just doesn't hit as hard as it used to. Maybe if you're Clorox, or maybe if you're, I don't know, like Dawn dish detergent, you know what I mean? Like it's different now. And I really hate to break it to Mac, but I really feel like riding off the coattail of your own once was hype isn't gonna work anymore. Oh honey, this next topic, this next point that I'm about to touch on, I'm about to get into it. MAC Cosmetics was once known for their products being honestly the best quality that you could buy at the time. Because back in 2007, you went to the drugstore to get Maybelline, you were gonna get pretty shitty products. Like you weren't gonna get like the formulas that they have now at the drugstore. You were gonna get, honestly, you remember those crayon concealers? You were gonna get shit like that at the drugstore. You wasn't gonna get no like creamy concealer. Like MAC had it all. MAC had the stuff that no one else really had it. And at the time, people weren't really going to Sephora. They weren't going to Ulta because those brands didn't have like the hype that MAC had at the time. When makeup industry became more lucrative and people started caring more and more about formulas and how things performed, and while all these brands was innovating and creating new formulas and textures and stuff like that, MAC was still probably thinking that they were like the most duped brand. MAC was probably thinking, oh, we have like the best formula still, like all of that shit. Like I have a feeling that that's what MAC was thinking. And while all these brands was innovating, MAC stayed the same. The packaging was the same. Like this was the same packaging. This is still the same packaging to this day. This is about a 3-year-old product, same packaging. This is probably the same packaging from, you could probably look back to like 2006 and this is still the same packaging. Beautiful product, it works, I like it, but there's better out there. It's flimsy, it's plastic. Like if you look at these two, what are you buying? When you look at these two products, which one are you buying? When you're looking at these two highlighters, which one are you buying? When you're looking at these two highlighters, which one are you buying? So on and so forth. These brands that were coming up and overtaking MAC Cosmetics were really taking formulations and changing and innovating products seriously. And then when ColourPop came into the scene and was able to do all of those things, have amazing formulas, amazing packaging, and be under $10, at that point, MAC Cosmetics should have been trembling at their fucking knees. I'm telling you, like they should have been scrambling to come up with something. MAC Cosmetics never reformulated or revamped any of their products. To this day, they haven't done that. And even their collaborations that they do, like the Selena collaboration, even their Patrick Star collaboration, it was, and this is no shade of Patrick because I know he worked really hard on that, but I feel like it was very uninspired. And it was like, let's do the same formulas, but package it pretty because it's Patrick Star. Let's do a Selena collection, but let's put Ruby Woo in a different component. And it's the most uninspired, bland, uninteresting shit I've ever seen. And it's like, not to eat MAC Cosmetics up like this, but it's actually like, I'm actually really disappointed in MAC as a brand because they are all about artistry. And it's not like MAC Cosmetics has done everything, because they haven't. They have full capacity and they have the money to really take charge of this industry again and have that impact that they once had. But I really think that they just are too lazy and they are really content in what they've done so far. They don't feel like they need to do anything else, and it's actually really disappointing. But every launch, you can tell by the buyer's interest, every launch is flopping. Every launch doesn't get sold out, and 3 weeks later, it's on sale for 50% off. And that alone should tell you that something's wrong. If you can't sell out of a collection, something's wrong, mama. You wanna know the real tea? When MAC Cosmetics did their collaboration with Patrick Starr and they had that powder, everyone was really interested in it because it was a brand new MAC powder, a new formulation on MAC Cosmetics, and it sold out. And it wasn't because it was Patrick Starr, no shade. It wasn't because it was Patrick Starr. It wasn't because of anything other than it was a new thing from MAC Cosmetics and people were interested in it. The issue with MAC Cosmetics is that they are choosing to stick with their old business model. And I think that they're more concerned about making money. I think MAC is more concerned about the bottom dollar and about the money that they're making versus investing the money that they are making into creating a whole new vibe. There's a whole new revolution of makeup artistry that they're not even taking a hold of and completely overlooking their own values and their own mission and aiding to this, and I hate to say it and I hate to get dragged for saying this, but aiding to this snobby makeup artist that wears the black clothes with the thing around their thingy, and that's the only market that they're aiding to. And you can tell that that's taking a hit on them because no one's talking about them. Their Instagram's the same. Everything about MAC Cosmetics has stayed the same. A lot of you guys actually mentioned that MAC is doing fine or okay at your stores, but you notice the demographic coming in for MAC Cosmetics is usually a higher age group. And I don't want to sound ageist or anything like that. Like, that's not what I'm doing. It's obviously more of like, this next part that I want to be discussing is more of a demographic thing. You can tell that MAC Cosmetics isn't aiding to a newer demographic because the people, what I'm seeing on my tweets, just asking you guys, I'm seeing that the demographic that's coming in are people that used MAC Cosmetics when they were younger. It's not a bad thing or anything like that, but it tells me that they're not moving along because those people that are, oh, this is gonna sound so bad, but the people that are older, you know, brands have to cater to everyone. They can't cater to a specific age group. Otherwise, it's limiting the market for themselves and polarizing their own market. Eventually, we're gonna see MAC Cosmetics falling closer and closer to obscurity. The content, the quality, and the products that you have to change in order to grow and evolve as a person, as a brand, because things are ever changing, time is ever moving, and if you're not evolving, you are going to be caught in the dust. That's just that, Brenda. Not to mention that people are wanting more ethically made products, and that leads me into our next discussion. In 2005, MAC Cosmetics decided to open themselves up to the Chinese market. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with the Chinese market, they require testing on animals for any beauty products. Pretty much any products that's sold there, they require you to test on animals to make sure that they are safe for humans.
Totally forgot to mention that China is closing their law, or they're ending their law where they require animal testing this year. So they will no longer require animal testing for cosmetic products in 2020. That does not negate or skew my opinion over the next few minutes that you're about to watch, because over the last 15 years, MAC still sold in China, knowing that this is a law there. So my opinion on MAC selling in China still stays the same. However, thankfully, luckily, China is ending this law. It is no longer going to be a law this year, and that is a huge victory and a major accomplishment. So I'm really excited about that, and I completely forgot to mention that. So mentioning it now. Okay, back to the video.
Now, this is, in my opinion, a completely outdated way of checking if things are safe or not for human consumption or for human use. There has definitely been a huge jump in science when it comes to animal testing. So I have been trying personally for myself to stop using brands that animal test. I know a lot of brands have stopped animal testing, but MAC Cosmetics is insistent on saying that they do not test on animals. Now, where that might be the case in America, in markets where they sell that don't require animal testing, for you to sell in China, you have to at least warrant someone to test your products on animals, period. There's like no way around that law. That is an actual law. MAC Cosmetics made a statement. MAC does not test on animals. We do not own any animal testing facilities, and we never ask others to test on animals for us. While some governments conduct animal testing to prove safety before they will allow us to sell our products, MAC has never tested on animals, and we continue to be a leader in the movement to end animal testing globally. Now, this is a very professional way of saying we don't do it, but other people do. This is a more corporate and confusing way to say we don't test on animals. Our brand doesn't do it, but we give it to someone else. We give it to the Chinese market, and then we turn a blind eye. We are complicit with the laws of other countries to maximize our dollar. To me, this is utter and total bullshit. And then scrolling down into their fact on their website, it says which countries require animal testing. China tests on animals as a part of its safety assessments of cosmetic products. We love our fans and we never want to exclude anyone. In 2020, the beauty and personal care market in China is going to be worth $62 billion. It is by far one of the biggest industries in the world. I mean, if you look at China's population, it's a no-brainer. And MAC's reason for moving to China and selling products in China is nothing more than just a way of making even more money. There is no way of denying that, and to a lot of people, that is upsetting. That is actually kind of infuriating to me, because that goes so far against what MAC's mission has always been, and it's disappointing to me and my homegirls. You're going against your own company's morals and values. In 2005, they opened up to the Chinese market, and since then it has rubbed people the wrong way. Anytime a brand starts to sell in China, it pisses people off. And this isn't anything against China, and I'm not trying to sound weird, like we're not gonna go there, because that's not what I'm doing. All in all, I feel like MAC is really shooting themselves in the foot. I feel like there is better ways to go about your business and how you run it. And their failure to kind of get with the times is making them look like a boomer. Not gonna lie. I notice when brands want to make more money, they start to sell in China, and that's a good way to do business, but it's not a good way to be ethically responsible. And the global consciousness, this new generation, we care about ethics and morals and doing the right thing. And when you're not doing that, you're upsetting an entire generation. And when you upset an entire generation, you are cutting off those people to your products. Overall, I feel like we can all agree the reason why MAC Cosmetics is slowly flopping and falling into obscurity is because they are choosing to not evolve. They're choosing to stick with what worked back then versus what is working now. In conclusion, I really do feel like MAC Cosmetics is on a downward spiral, in my opinion. I feel like maybe if they tried to revamp their formulas, repackage everything, like if they did a whole new rehaul, like a whole entire rebrand that's a little bit more modern, a little bit more of today's times, I feel like it could spark the interest of a lot of people. Like if MAC did an entire rebrand, I feel like influencers would be like, oh shit, that's really cool, and go back to MAC and do videos on it. And I'm not saying, like, I feel like this video is very much so like, oh, influencers are gonna make or break a brand, and I'm not trying to say that at all, but I feel like influencer marketing, again, is a multi-billion-dollar industry that I feel like MAC has not fully used to its potential. And I feel like they could easily be a brand that people use on the regular basis again if they reformulated and tried to be a little bit more advanced. Because at one point, MAC was the staple. MAC was releasing what all these brands would eventually copy, and now MAC is trying to catch up. They released liquid lipsticks in 2017 when liquid lipsticks were a thing in 2015. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, MAC used to be the staple, used to be the pink print or the blueprint to a lot of these things, and now MAC is scrambling to keep up with these other brands, and that's so unlike what Mac was back in the day. And so I love Mac. I will always love Mac. I don't always agree with what Mac is doing, and yes, I'm a little bit disappointed in their products, and I am a little bit disappointed in what they're going, what the direction that they're going in right now, but I do have hope, and I have hope that if someone says something in Mac HQ, something might get done. I hope you guys enjoyed the first installment of what I think I might call What's Really Going On? What's Really Going On? Hope you guys enjoyed the first installment of this video. If you guys want more videos, and if you have any topics or any things that you want me to cover and do a deep dive on, please leave them in the comment section down below. I would be more than happy to do them. Thank you guys again for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I worked really, really hard on it. And yeah, okay. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.